transit complete.
Hey everybody, so here are my completed Warp Spiders. These were pretty time consuming to paint. I think that I heard somebody on another vid say that they didn't really enjoy painting them. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but what I found is that I have the metal models and they're so top heavy that of course they fall a lot, but I had found that these little spikes, like sort of on the death spinner weapons, as much as I actually coated them with varnish and things like that, they constantly would chip. And that's not even, it didn't even seem like I was dropping them, frequently. It just, the slightest touch. And so I'm hoping that that they end up holding out even just for gameplay. This is one model where I would prefer to actually have plastic for sure. I mean, in general, I actually prefer the plastic models better, but back to the models, I actually I enjoyed the way these came out. I tried to do a bit of a lightning effect on what are they? I don't know why the dual power weapons, power blades is what the word I'm looking for. For some reason, when I turn the camera on, it just seems my brain just kind of goes out the window. And so I have a bit of a fade here that I think I showed in just my Eldar update. And I ended up since then painting the gems and the sashes and some of the sort of effects on his legs. I did some dry brushing on the model. I did like a gray dry brush on the black. I dry brushed a light green on the darker green that I had. I think that they came out okay. I'm happy with them. I painted them. They took me quite a while, but I painted them as quickly as I could because sometimes I just, like a lot of painters probably, when you're just doing the same unit over and over again, it just becomes a bit of a labor to get it done. I enjoy painting single models a lot more because I just like variety when I paint. But in general, these were still fun to do. The base, I did some weathering powders, and just on some of them I put a little static grass. For my theme, for the most part, I've been trying to go with like a bit of a fall / scorched earth scenario, and so that's the look that I have there. So hope you guys like these. I know I struggled a bit with how I was going to end up doing Biel for Warp Spiders. In general, I've been doing the method with Aspect Warriors where you paint them to be in the theme with your army as opposed to painting them, their shrine colors, the standard codex colors. My reason for that is, particularly with Biel, if you go with a sword wind, and I know next year there's a possibility that we'll be getting a Biel supplement early next year. You could have almost your whole army without any green in it. I mean, like, granted your guardians and some of your stuff, you'd have your white and your green, but if you had a major number of aspects, they would have very little semblance of a color scheme. I think every craft world could experience that, but if you're truly going by the codex, then I think Biel would be the most affected by that, is from a visual appearance, just not having a lot of coherency or displaying the green and the white that much. And so I like, actually, for the most part, making them fall in line with the green and white army. And with this one, I wanted to keep it still black like they normally are, just adding the green accents, and so I think it came out kind of nice. This fade in the back idea just sort of dawned on me because this was the piece that actually made me think the hardest about what to do. Like, it's funny, I actually think this looks a bit like a crab shell. I don't know if anybody else had ever thought about it, but it's an interesting shape, and it looks a bit like a crab shell, like you could have the legs there like that. And I looked online, and a lot of people do freehanding. I wasn't really wanting to do that. I've tried that with the thorns, and I could have did the thorns, but to be honest, I just didn't want to for this. And so I went with the sword on the back. I thought about putting the thing that people sometimes put on the head, the little warp spider symbol, but it would have been too small. I didn't have a larger one. And so I went with the sword, which I think is kind of nice to show the sword wind. And so, yeah, I think it definitely stands out as being green and, you know, belonging within my Biel troops. And so, you know, I'm pretty good with that decision. So, interested in what everybody else thinks. If you have a Biel army and you've got warp spiders, I'm interested in how you ended up doing them. So, just yeah, or actually for that matter, any Eldar army. So, okay, guys, take care.